The broadcasting world is in mourning following the sudden death of Andy Peebles, a legendary BBC Radio 1 DJ, who passed away at the age of 76. The news, confirmed on March 23, 2025, has prompted an outpouring of tributes from colleagues, friends, and fans who remember him as a charismatic broadcaster, a music enthusiast, and the man who conducted the final interview with John Lennon. Peebles' death marks the end of an era for British radio, where his distinctive voice and passion for music left an indelible mark over a career spanning decades. A storied career in broadcasting born in 1948 in London, Andy Peebles began his journey in the entertainment world not behind a microphone, but as a nightclub DJ in the late 1960s. His early years saw him honing his craft in Bournemouth, where he balanced a diploma in hotel management with gigs at local pubs and clubs. However, it was his move into radio that would define his legacy. In 1973, Peebles joined BBC Radio Manchester, marking the start of a remarkable career in broadcasting. A year later, he became a founding presenter at Piccadilly Radio, where his weekly Soul Train program showcased his deep love for soul music, a passion that would resonate throughout his work. In 1978, Peebles made the leap to BBC Radio 1, a move that catapulted him into the national spotlight. For the next 14 years, until 1992, he became a mainstay on the station, captivating audiences with his encyclopedic knowledge of music and his warm, engaging style. During this golden era of Radio 1, Peebles also hosted several editions of Top of the Pops, further cementing his status as a household name in British entertainment. His versatility extended beyond music programming. He was a cricket enthusiast and a skilled commentator, regularly covering matches for the BBC, blending his love for sport with his broadcasting prowess. Peebles' career wasn't confined to Radio 1. He presented the morning show on BBC Radio Lancashire for many years, and lent his voice to the British Forces Broadcasting Service and the BBC World Service. One of his most notable moments came in 1985, when he took to the stage at Wembley Stadium during the iconic Live Aid concert, introducing acts like David Bowie, Spandau Ballet, and Paul Young to a global audience. The Lennon interview, a career-defining moment, perhaps the most significant chapter of Andy Peebles' career, came on December 6, 1980, when he conducted what would become John Lennon's final interview. Just 2 days before Lennon's tragic murder in New York, Peebles sat down with the former Beatle for a 3-hour conversation that went far beyond the expected 60-minute slot. What was intended as a structured interview turned into an intimate, unscripted exchange over dinner, a testament to Peebles' ability to connect with his subjects and let them shine. The interview, however, was a double-edged sword for Peebles. While it remains a historic piece of broadcasting, the aftermath took a heavy toll. Following Lennon's death on December 8, 1980, Peebles found himself thrust into the spotlight, delivering live tributes on radio and television while grappling with his own shock and grief. He later reflected that the experience blighted my life and brought him close to a breakdown, revealing the emotional weight of being forever linked to such a monumental tragedy. Despite this, the interview endures as a cherished artifact for music fans, offering a rare glimpse into Lennon's mind just before his untimely passing. Tributes from a grieving industry news of Peebles' death broke on March 23, 2025, with his family confirming the loss to the BBC. The announcement sparked an immediate wave of tributes from across the broadcasting community. Mike Reed, a fellow Radio 1 alum who joined the station alongside Peebles, shared his devastation on social media. Devastated to hear the news about our chum Andy Peebles. He was about to join us at Heritage. We joined Radio 1 together, knew his music and cricket inside out. Raise your bat and enjoy a long rest in the pavilion. We lunched recently with DLT and Adrian Just. Great innings. Reed's tribute, accompanied by a photo from their recent lunch with fellow DJs Dave Lee Travis and Adrian Just, underscored the camaraderie Peebles inspired among his peers. Tony Blackburn, another Radio 1 legend, added his voice to the chorus of remembrance. So sorry to hear that fellow DJ from Radio 1. When I was there, Andy Peebles has passed away. He was a lovely man and a great broadcaster. Very sad news. Radio executive John Simons echoed these sentiments, highlighting Peebles' personal impact. So sad to hear the news about Andy Peebles passing. I'll miss our long conversations about football and soul music, of which he was far more knowledgeable. There's going to be a quiet storm in heaven tonight. Rip Andy. Fans, too, flooded social media with heartfelt messages. One listener wrote, "So, farewell Andy Peebles, Piccadilly Radio and BBC Radio 1, from those golden days when mainstream radio stations knew who their audience were." Another reflected on his Lennon connection. Andy Peebles, brilliant DJ, in his heyday famous for being the last person to interview John Lennon, talented genius. #RIP Andy Peebles. A third simply said, "Very sad news indeed," capturing the collective sense of loss. A legacy beyond the airwaves, Peebles' influence extended beyond his on-air presence. His upcoming appearance in the documentary Borrowed Time, Lennon's Last Decade, set to hit cinemas later in 2025, promised to revisit his historic encounter with Lennon and shed new light on the Beatles' final years. His last television appearance, on CBS in 2020, reminded audiences of his enduring relevance. Even in his later years, Peebles remained active, with plans to join the Heritage Chart radio team, a gig he was set to begin before his unexpected passing. Known for his sharp wit, deep musical insight, and love for cricket, Peebles was a broadcaster who wore many hats with ease. His ability to connect with audiences, whether through soulful tunes, cricket commentary, or candid interviews, made him a beloved figure in British media. As one fan noted, "Sad to hear of the passing of Andy Peebles, a fantastic broadcaster. Loved listening to Soul Train back in the 80s. The end of an era. Andy Peebles' death on March 22, 2025, just a day before the news broke, came as a shock to many. Described as unexpected, it has left the industry and his admirers reeling. While the cause of his passing has not been publicly detailed, the focus remains on celebrating a life rich with contributions to music, sport, and broadcasting. As tributes continue to pour in, Peebles' legacy stands as a testament to the power of radio to inform, entertain, and unite. From his early days at Piccadilly Radio to his tenure at BBC Radio 1 and beyond, he leaves behind a body of work that will resonate for generations. In the words of his friend Mike Reed, Andy Peebles has played a great innings, and now it's time for him to take a well-earned rest in the pavilion. Rest in peace, Andy.